you've been to any of my workshops, or maybe you read some things on my blog, you know that I like to talk about the CV, or I like to compare the CV to, or good CV, an effective CV, to great merchandising. And if you think about your CV in this way, I think it will help you understand what content will be most engaging and will help open doors the most. So this is how to think about it. So if it's like great merchandising, a very effective CV is like great merchandising, you need to think about yourself as a retailer, and the recruiter or the headhunter would be your customer. I'll call him or her a talent shopper. All right. So how, and then with this idea, well, how do you write a resume? Thinking about your experiences as inventory. So, but that's exactly what I want you to think about. So this is what I do in the workshops. Oftentimes I talk about, I want people to come in with a notion of what their inventory is. Well, what's your inventory? The inventory is, yes, your experiences, but something very interesting about your experiences, not just the information I tend to see on resumes, which is very descriptive and not differentiating at all between one candidate and another. So I ask everyone to, either before a workshop or during a workshop, to fill out a form with this CAR activity. You might have heard of this CAR activity. Sometimes it's called SAR or STAR. So the C is for challenge, A is for action, R is for results. If it were SAR, it would be situation, action, result. STAR breaks it down a bit more into situation, task, action, result. I like using CAR just with 3 categories, that's enough. So I ask participants in the workshop to think about all of their work experience, and at each job, a challenge, an action, and a result. And maybe produce a document, can be as long as you want, because this is not your resume. This is your inventory. This is just to know all of the talents that you have, all of the accomplishments, all the results that you've produced, all of them, regardless of the target audience. Once you define your target audience, then we'll know what inventory is interesting for that target audience. But this document is really important. So once you have your inventory, then you can think about, you have to analyze who's that customer you're trying to reach. So think about stores. You know, each retailer is trying to reach a different type of customer, or maybe at a different season. So what aspects are there in this store and to merchandising? So one of the key aspects is the window display. Have you ever gone shopping and not seen a window display? Have you ever wandered into a store without a window display, or perhaps without a sign outside the door? You probably wouldn't, would you? So the resume, because we read so fast, so quickly, key information needs to be communicated really fast. And if you think about it in the same way as shopping, well, it kind of serves the same purpose. So your headline is a bit like the sign outside the door, all right? And that sign outside the door needs to engage with that target audience and reflect the value that you're going to offer them. And then the next thing would be the window display. The window display, this is the summary. This is your professional summary. Instead of writing professional summary on top, you have a sign. And the sign is, let's say, attorney in entertainment and media, or your senior marketing executive in medical devices. This is the sign outside the door. This is your headline. Then the summary is this key information. There's kind of maybe one or two wow moments that you know are really going to bring that person into the store for more. So that summary, we don't need to talk about vague soft skills, and people tend to do this and say, oh, I'm very innovative, I'm a great team player. But you know, everyone says that, it's not differentiating. So why not bring in one of your key accomplishments into that summary, right? You could have a branding statement up top and say, this is how I accomplish it, okay? Maybe surpassing sales goals in cybersecurity. And then an example below. Maybe an average of how you have surpassed sales goals over the course of your career, or something like that. And we have to make it very easy for that reader to find the information. So just like a beautiful window display that someone has carefully thought out of what the best products are in inventory that I'm going to put out there to say, hey, this is what I have on offer. Come on in, and you're going to see more of this. So as you go down the resume, it's a little bit like walking into a store and say, okay, the in-store display things have to be easy to find. Those are the good shopping experiences. When I find things that I need, I know what my shopping list is, right? I'm the talent shopper, and I have a list of requirements that my client has given me if I'm a headhunter, right? So I know just what I'm looking for. I don't want to, if I have to run into too many other things, I might step out and go somewhere else because, the window display was great, but I'm not really finding what I'm looking for. So you should set up the professional experience section thinking about this. Well, what does that target audience need? And in this inventory that I have, this car exercise that I have that is about as many pages as you want, well, what I'm going to pull out of that inventory and put here. And there's some things that you can't put in the floor display or the window display. They might have to go into the back of the store or into your stockroom. So you might have some experiences that were so long ago that it's not worth talking about it. It doesn't communicate any value at all. Or there might be some that you don't want to let go of, or they're important to mention they represent something that you did that explains a gap, but it's not so relevant to your target audience. So you can always have a section called Other Experience after the professional experience section. And that would be like, the sales section in the back of the store. I want people to walk from the window display through the high-ticket items. The high-ticket items are strategically placed at the front of the store to kind of to say, okay, go for this one here. But there are a few in the back here if you're really interested. Well, there they are. So if you think about your talents, your experiences in this way as great merchandising, then you could produce a strong value proposition for your target audience that will be much more engaging and convey that you are the right person for the job that you're looking for.